everybody. So I have been wanting to make this video again for a while. I've been getting away from all my fitness stuff because I've been really focusing on other things in life, but this is something that I am very passionate about and really just want to get another video out there. I had made one before, but it had a lot of swearing in it, so I was just trying to get away from that. But I want to talk about macros and basically how to get started on setting up your diet to live in a way that's realistic and basically just to be able to begin your road into the healthy diet lifestyle. One of the big things that I preach is if it fits your macros. Coming off of a bodybuilding diet, it's taken me a while for myself especially to become comfortable with setting things up, switching things around, and knowing how to eat. So with this video, I just kind of want to go over the basics. I've had a lot of people, ask me, what should I do, and just how to get started. And it's so much easier for me to just say it than to type it out a million times. So here we go. So with if it fits your macros. So a macro is a macronutrient. You have micronutrients and macronutrients, but the micro ones kind of fall into place when you get your macronutrients on par with, your body type and size and stuff. But the three macronutrients are fats, carbs, and proteins. And so if there's one thing the first step, if at all possible, that you need to do is you need to figure out your body fat percentage. There's different means that you can go about doing this. Top of the line, if you can afford it and there's a facility around you, the DEXA scan is the most accurate, period. And then you have BodPod. If you live where I live in Hampton Roads, Old Dominion University has one, the exercise science department. I think I have the number in the email somewhere. I'll put it in the link, or I may make it flash right there. I don't know if I plan on making this video flashy, but or you can go to NutriShop Chesapeake, anywhere that has any kind of they have a what's it called? Smart Body, I think. I don't know. Just something that tells your body fat. If all you have are calipers, it's not the most accurate, but at least it gives you an idea of where you're at, and that's what's most important. So figuring out your body mass. So I'm going to use myself for an example for most of these, when I'm explaining things. So I am more or less 155 to 160 pounds, depending on how clean my diet's been that week. I kind of fluctuate. And my lean body mass is about 130. So when I say lean body mass, I'm talking about your bones, your tendons, your ligaments, and your muscles. So everything except your fat. So what you want to do when you're calculating out your macro needs, your daily needs, is you want to take your lean body mass and you want to, where's my calculator? And you want to use lean body mass for these measurements. So with protein, you want to be eating 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. So for me, I need to eat at least 130 grams of protein a day. I personally, because I try to eat low carb, eat way more protein, I usually hit almost 200 grams a day, just because your body uses that as a last resort for energy needs, and it'll tap into your carb storages, and so it's an easy way to feel satisfied, still get your caloric needs, but still slowly whittle away fat. So for fat, you want to do a range. So for every 1 pound of lean body mass, you want to do between 0.4 to 0.6 grams. So now, this kind of confused me when I first started learning about this, because I was like, how can you have, a range? And basically the range is for if you're trying to lose fat, maintain, or gain weight. So for me, I do 0.4 times 130. So I should eat about 52 grams of fat a day, because it's not that I'm necessarily trying to lose weight currently, but there are some days where I go a little overboard on my food. So I like to have a little bit lower days, so that way when I have the bigger days, it's like, meh, But if you're somebody who, females especially, need fat, that's a big thing. People think that lowering their fat to really low levels and carbs, will make them lose weight, but it's the opposite effect. Your body will hang on to what you have because it thinks it's starving. So you want to avoid that. You want to make sure, females, it's very important for you because of our reproductive organs. We need more fat. So never go below 0.4 of your lean body mass. And then, if you're trying to gain weight, you can go up to the upper, 0.6. Maintaining, I would go with 0.5. And then carbs. So carbs, I always say it's the rest of the calories. So one thing that with getting your body mass tested, your body composition tested, is you will also learn what your basal metabolic rate is. And what that is, it's like if I just sat here all day, I would burn, I think mine is like 16 something ish. That's how many calories my body would burn naturally with just chilling all day. So one thing that I always tell people is don't dip below that number, because that's when you start getting hungry. The hungrier you are, unless you're like the Dalai Lama of self-control, you're gonna binge and you're gonna have freak out days, and it's gonna suck, and you're gonna like, it's just gonna be this vicious cycle of like starving, holy crap, starving, you know what I mean? So it's just better to stay above that, work out, put yourself in a deficit, and slowly lose weight in a healthy, realistic manner. That's healthy and realistic. That's key. But anyways, so the rest of the calories for carbs. So for me, I'm trying to eat about a 1,700 calorie a day diet. Now this is where caloric values come in. So a caloric value is how many calories are associated with 1 gram of whatever we're talking about. So protein has 4 calories per gram. Carbs has 4 calories per gram, and fat has 9. Alcohol has 7, I think. I never really worried about that because, I don't know, no one tracks our alcohol. But I think it's 7. I'll double check. So anyways, so what you do, so for me specifically, so we're looking at, I probably should have done this before I did this. So 130 grams of protein, 52 grams of fat. So you take your protein grams. So I have 130. I times it by 4 because it's 4 calories per gram. So 520 of my daily calories will be from protein. And then 52 times 9, because there's 9 calories per gram of fat. So 468 calories will come from fat. Now you add those two up, and so 988 calories will come from my fats and my protein. Now how you get the rest is you take the daily value that you want to eat. So for me, 1,700. And you subtract 1,700, or you take all your protein and fat calories from the 1,700. So I have 712 calories left. Now, because the rest of it needs to go to carbs, I'm going to divide that by 4, because it's 4 calories per gram of carbs, which leaves me with 178 grams of carbs. So it sounds confusing, but once you do it a few times, it's super easy. And so that's just kind of my, I wouldn't call that my maintaining, because in maintaining I should be a little bit higher in calories. I usually tell people about 400 or 500 calories above their BMR, the basal metabolic rate, is maintaining. Anyway, so that's how you calculate your macros. Now, one thing that's good to think about is, depending on your body type will be how your body uses the macros you put in. Jordan, my boyfriend, always says calories are king, because how much you actually weigh depends on calorie input and calorie expenditure. So if you are intaking more calories than you are expending, you're going to get heavier, vice versa. Now macros, the type of macros you put in your body depends on what you look like. I could eat 1,700 calories of Crisco a day. and I would maintain my weight, but I would look like a blob. So you kind of have to think about that. Now, some people's bodies use fats and carbs differently. Most people, protein breaks down the same. As long as you're eating good, actually, protein's protein. Um, but depending on what the type of muscles you have in your body, everyone's different. You have, not to get into like the super, whatever about it, but there's basically two muscle types. You have type 1 and type 2. If you're somebody who grew, like Jordan, he grew up running track. He grew up, just super sports, yada, yada, yada. He's super lean. And his body is able to utilize things like fat a lot easier, which is why he's so lean. He has type 2 fibers. So what that means is that his body just metabolizes fat easier. Me, I'm good with carbs. I have a lot of type 1 fibers because I weightlift. I didn't play sports growing up. That's my body is just used to oxidation. I'm slow. So one of the biggest things with starting If It Fits Your Macros is being able to determine how your body works with things. That's why you start off with maintaining numbers. And you do that for about 2 weeks. Because the very first week that you start, you're going to lose a ton of weight because your body's probably ridding itself of water, random crap. So you're going to lose weight. So it's almost like the first week doesn't count. So then you go into the second week and you weigh yourself. And weigh yourself daily. Because every single day you're going to see a little bit of a fluctuation. And that helps you get an idea of how much you really weigh. Because there's sometimes, like, if what you eat is super salty, you'll retain a lot of water and you'll gain like 3 pounds. And most people will be like, oh my gosh, 3 pounds, and freak out. It's not 3 pounds. You cannot gain 3 pounds of fat in one day. It just doesn't happen that way. So weighing yourself a lot helps you get a good average. So if let's say you're eating, I don't know. Okay, so let's say I'm eating what I'm eating, and I'm eating 178 grams of carbs. Now, I will not lower my fat because you should never go below 0.4. Never go below 0.4 grams of fat per pound of body mass, the lean kind, okay? I cannot stress that enough. So what you're going to do, and especially if you don't want to go lose your calories, is you're going to move grams of carbs to your grams of protein. You're going to eat less carbs, more protein. 4 calories per gram of each one, so your calories of the day won't change. Still 1,700, but instead of 178 grams of carbs, I'm going to do 160, and I'm going to take that extra 18 and have 148 grams of protein. Make sense? Okay. So you kind of have to play around with it. If you start off at 0.5 grams of fat or 0.6 and you're blowing up, lower your fat a little bit. So it's just really being able to slowly adjust yourself, and you'll find what works for you. I can eat carbs all day long. As long as I hit a good workout the next day, I'm fine. As long as I don't do a bunch of days in a row, you know what I mean? So basically that's the tricky part, and that's what takes time. Like, it's literally taken me a year. I've been doing If It Fits Your Macros like hardcore since January. But I've known about how all this stuff works for about almost 2 years. And I would say within the last couple of months, I've really gotten around turn on adjusting my macros. So, sorry, plugged my computer in. But yeah, so another thing too, I touched on it, but eating enough. That's the one thing that I have so many people come to me and they're like, I'm eating healthy, I'm doing X, Y, and Z, but I'm getting fatter, or I'm not losing weight. Now, the one thing that's nice about If It Fits Your Macros is a lot of times people will be eating healthy, but they'll just be eating too much healthy. It doesn't matter if you're eating salad 3 times a day. If you're eating an 8-pound salad, you're going to gain weight. It just goes back to the calories in, calories out. So what I always tell people is get MyFitnessPal, that's the one that I use, and start measuring out your food. Go buy like 4 sets of measuring cups and a scale and start tracking your food, because A, that's how you're going to keep track of your macros, unless you want to do it pen and paper, but that sucks. So start tracking it. And you'd be surprised at what you think is a serving is not a serving. I mean, dumb things, you know, like, I don't know, like, I've been doing this for so long, it's very second nature, and I can almost eyeball a lot of stuff. But I mean, a serving of oatmeal, for instance, is like, it sucks. You know, it's so small. You'll definitely grow accustomed to it, and you will be, if you're currently overeating, you will be hungry. But your body will get used to it, and yeah, that's it. Your body will get used to it. If you're undereating, it's gonna feel like you're you're stuffing your face, and you're gonna be like, I don't want to eat anymore. It doesn't matter. Eat. You'll get used to it, and yes, you may gain weight initially. That's the one thing. If you are under eating, you will gain weight initially. But what happens is your body is really smart. Your body is way smarter than you probably give it credit for. And it makes the energy that you give it, it will use it. So one of the big reasons why people can't lose weight when it goes into starvation mode is that it takes what it has and it uses it very sparingly. Now your body, once it starts getting an influx of calories and food and whatnot, at first it's like, oh crap. But eventually, like, all right, you'll have a lot more energy. I mean, you'll see. You can definitely tell a difference of, and you'll eventually flatline to where you won't gain weight anymore, because your body will just use the energy you're giving it as long as it's consistent. Another big thing, make sure you're tracking your water. Not necessarily tracking your water, but drinking water. I always tell people, shoot for a gallon a day. That's definitely a huge thing, is getting your water. Water intake does so much. In fact, I'm really thirsty right now. I haven't drank enough water today. I can tell my mouth is dry. So, I think that's about it. Kind of your basic info. If you have any questions, throw them in the comments. I love nutrition. I love talking about this kind of stuff. If you have any questions, just let me know. So, I hope you guys have a great day, and good luck.